the Swedish perspective, and from no one less than Martin Forsén himself, the president of the European Heat Pump Association, but also the, may I say, brain behind this conference. So a warm welcome to your own stage, Martin.
All right. So, thank you everyone. Good morning, and thank you for the introduction. It's not without a great deal of pride I'm standing here with all these distinguished guests and speakers. This is a great opportunity for us to share our experience of moving into the transition of the heating sector, because we have done quite a lot here in Sweden, as you already know. But we believe that now we have come to a situation where we really believe and we feel and we see in action, in words, that we have full recognition for this technology by policymakers all over Europe. You want to invest in this. You believe in the future of this technology. But we also know that you have a lot of questions. How will it work? We always have these kind of questions when we're introducing a new technology, wherever it might be. We have people in the room who are answering the same kind of questions over and over again, and we just have to do that tough job, because we need to think about that every 6 seconds another gas boiler is installed in Europe. And that is a lost opportunity for the next 20 years, probably, to make a transition. We must make it that change. So I will tell you a little bit about the story, what we managed to do in Sweden. I call the presentation the heat pump wonder country, that's Sweden. I can say we are a little bit like that. So what we see happening today is a rapid transition in the energy sector. I can't recall that it has ever been this really dynamic in the energy sector. We're picking up new technologies, especially renewable energy, electricity, at a very, very rapid pace. We're dealing and implementing new regulations and directives at a tremendous speed all over that is helping us. And if we look at specifically then, what is at the center point here? It is electrification. What I believe is one of the greatest challenge for the future is to tackle large-scale industrial combustion, wherever it might be, because there is a problematic issue. First, we need to find a sustainable fuel to burn. There are lots of issues around that. Then we need to harvest that fuel somehow. We have to transport, we have to refine it, and then we have to burn it, and it creates emissions. And then we have to take care of the ashes. There are great challenges all over that value chain. But the way out of this is to electrify as much as possible. And we see this electrification has started. It's happening in all sectors. You know it, in the transport sectors, the increase in the sales of electric vehicles, cars, buses, bicycles, you name it, railroad traffic, and in the heated sector. That is central. And I told Mestil last night at the dinner, I was almost crying when I saw the energy system integration strategy when it came out, and where for the very, very first time it was highlighted the importance to electrify the heating sector. And that really paved the way for the upcoming new proposals for new directives and regulations. And that was really key for us. Now we're on track. But why then, and where are we using heat pumps? Well, we're using heat pumps in all different types of applications. Today, we will mainly focus about residential applications. However, we also see heat pumps upcoming, slowly but steadily, in industrial applications. And also we believe it has a great place to fit into the coming generations of district heating as well. But not only that, we have heat pumps all over the society. I sometimes talk about the heat pumpification of society. We have hidden heat pumps in all our appliances to meet the demand for improved energy efficiency. New appliances like laundry dryers, they have a heat pump integrated. We see them coming in dishwashers. And pretty much every new electric car has a heat pump included in it. I believe if it's not already the case, it will be very, very soon that the number of heat pumps that are installed as a component in another appliance or a vehicle will surpass the number of heat pumps that are being installed in buildings. So why are heat pumps so important for the future? Well, heat pumps stand for energy efficiency. It's one of the very, very most efficient technologies that we have. It stands for emission reductions and also contribute to the use of increased use of renewable energy. We can also, in one and the same appliance, provide both heating and cooling. So that's really the backbone, what the technology stands for. And that has paved the way for the tremendous implementation rate that we've seen in Sweden for decades. So this slide shows the sales development of residential heat pumps in Sweden. It all started around or just before the millennium. And ever since then, it has increased dramatically. We are now a mature market. This is the self-evident choice for people living in single-family houses. And it is growing interest also for multi-family buildings. It's growing interest in industries as well. What you see here, we have also seen an increase in the last few years. That is not because of the ones lagging behind are now introducing, going into this technology. There's some, but that's not the major part. But now, as we've had this steady market for so many years, we're now entered into the replacement market of the old heat pumps as well. And that's why we see this increase in sales the last couple of years. So it has been said earlier that now in Sweden, looking at the single-family houses, more than 60% of them have a heat pump installed and in use. So looking at this penetration, I've taken a picture from a suburb just outside of Stockholm here, looking at an area here in Bromma, where we have a great number of ground source heat pumps installed. And it's not only in Bromma, that's not very specific. It's all over the big cities. We have these systems installed. So what you see here is a map of this small area here. The brownish figures here are the houses, and the green dots here are indicating which house that has a ground source heat pump. So it's a tremendous, unsurpassed concentration of this very high efficient technology. And those houses that do not have a ground source heat pump, the great majority of them are using another type of heat pump. There are hardly any oil boilers left. So now we can answer to a lot of these questions that all the other member states are raising. Does it really work? Does it really deliver? Do we live up to the promise? Now we can look at the results in facts and figures. So looking specifically at the use of heating oil for heating purposes, as was said before by Eva, in the 70s, almost all houses were using heating oil. They had a boiler in their house. I had one myself. But that has completely changed now. There are hardly any oil boilers left. There are in the range of 10 to 20,000 left. And we know that many of those are not in use, but they're still remaining in the house. We're now down at levels down to right after the Second World War. So we believe that we've done that job. We're past that. And what has come out of that, if we look at the emissions reductions from individual heating in buildings, it has been reduced now by 95%. So it really does deliver. But not only that, but because we've had a surplus and a very strong electricity grid in Sweden, we've had in the past quite a lot of electricity heating. Not only direct electricity, but also electric boilers. So we did not only just shift out all the oil boilers, we have also replaced a lot of electric boilers, and we have complemented direct electricity heating by adding an additional heat pump in that house. So not only that we have reduced the emissions, completely got rid of the heating oil, but we've also managed to reduce the use of electricity for heating. So it really plays in very well. So now, what are we going to do next? So we're trying to now to implement this technology all over Europe. We've already seen, it has been mentioned here earlier this morning, that we already see that many markets are picking up in Europe. So this is the sales trend that we see in Europe today. We've reached quite a high number, and it's really growing rapidly even further. But what we need, what has also been mentioned, we need more investments in order to be competitive. Can we ramp up production? And this is crucial for us to keep the competition level high and maintain our good position here in Europe. And now, the heat pump industry all over Europe are investing heavily. We're building up factories in many different countries. So we are ready to take on this journey for all of Europe. We believe that by 2030, we will have the production capacity within Europe. We are standing strong and we're standing ready. Now, just don't forget that only during the course of my 12-minute speak here, there has been an additional 120 fossil boilers installed in Europe. For how long can we let this go on? For how long can we afford that? We need to come to a stop to that. And with that, I thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Martin.